I will say right up front, the January 6th commission hearing is nothing but a kangaroo court designed to slander people and Donald Trump, people around him. What is the definition of a kangaroo court? A kangaroo court, if you look up Merriam-Webster's, as much as it's been altered, by the way, in the last few years. It is an unelected court outside the realm of legislative order, and it is designed with a political intent and not a legal, legitimate reason. The House of Representatives is allowed to conduct investigations involving legislative matters. In other words, that is what they are empowered to do, such as when a president may be malfeasant in office, they hire a special investigator. It's a special office who is then decided by the Justice Department, by the executive branch, to investigate the malfeasance of a president while in office. That can be done even after a president leaves. It can then be referred to the Justice Department for criminal intent. That is not what is happening. There has to be a legislative reason for a House to conduct an independent investigation, which is essentially just them interrogating people with nobody allowed to witness the actual interrogation. The House has called up people, and they have given their accounts of the days leading up to January 6th. All of the accounts are solely been edited by House members. In other words, you can't view them. Furthermore, no law enforcement official conducted those interviews. It was conducted by House members, not conducted by the Department of Justice. Some were conducted with the presence of an FBI agent if it related to a justice matter. But many of the people that testified about events that were surrounding January 6th, events that led up to it, and all other kinds of arguments about why Donald Trump is an awful person were conducted solely by members of the House, and many of them were conducted in secret. They were not in public hearings. People met with House committee members, and you have no idea of the questions that were asked, the nature of the questions. All you are allowed to hear are edited segments of whatever was said, including and up to Bill Barr's testimony. This is of concern. This is a secret court. This is anti-constitutional. Our Constitution provides for the Fifth Amendment. That means people can face their accusers. The accused can face their accusers in a court of law. And it has to be a jury of their peers conducted by the executive branch, the judiciary. None of that is happening. People are making accusations of a person that is not even there, not present, not allowed to cross-examine witnesses, not allowed to face their accusers, and evidence is being produced, and nobody is allowed to refute that evidence or present counter-evidence. And then it is aired in the court of public opinion. It is not done in front of a jury of the peers. There is no jury in the January 6th Commission. It's simply put on the television, and you, the people, are encouraged to decide whether so-and-so did something or what. This is the very definition of a kangaroo court. Donald Trump is on trial for his political future and potential criminal future. It is an illegal court, therefore. It violates the Fifth Amendment. Furthermore, people who were involved in the January 6th Commission are being held on a pretrial detention and are not allowed to accept visitors, not even their own lawyers. They have not been allowed to be conducted in a certain way. Because the January 6th Commission is public, they have now issued a memo saying that the Department of Justice is questioning whether the January 6th hearings are now prejudicing their case against the people who they have on pretrial detention, which means they have to conduct the trials against those people after the January 6th Commission has come out with its findings and completed its public hearing. That means these people may be in jail for up to 2 years in solitary confinement without any visitors and without hearing their own lawyers. This is a clear violation of the Sixth Amendment, which guarantees against cruel and unusual punishment, guarantees the right of prisoners in certain situations. None of these people are flight risks. They have been denied bail, denied any kind of right to a hearing. All of these are complete violations of our constitutional process, and that is why I call it a kangaroo court. That is why I say it's illegal, and that is why people are not showing up when they are subpoenaed, because they do not recognize the authority of this kind of a commission or this courtroom, because it's nothing that is constitutional. And therefore, anything coming from it, including and up to subpoenas and arrests, are illegal, unconstitutional. There's a historical precedent for it. This is not the first time a nation, when it changed hands in power, when a new political party emerged or has control of government, this is not the first time it's happened. It happened last in April of 1934. In April of 1934, the Nazi Party gained a number of serious numbers in the German parliament, the Reichstag. And Adolf Hitler went to Bismarck and made a deal which essentially guaranteed a lot of different things that allowed Adolf Hitler to rise to power. Adolf Hitler was not elected to office. The office of the Chancellor of Germany was created solely for him in a deal by Otto von Bismarck. Unfortunately, what Bismarck did was turn over power of government. Once that happened in April of 1934, I believe, the Reichstag held a hearing, decided to hold a hearing about how the Nazi Party was being endangered, how Germany was being endangered, and did it in exactly the same way that our current House of Representatives is conducting their hearings. They had public hearings where pictures were held up with the Nazi banners side by side, as we have seen Donald Trump's picture in the worst possible light, making them look like hideous villains or gargoyles of some. The picture of Giuliani looked like almost like a gargoyle. And then they proceeded down the panel. The panel did not have accusers or people talking, did not have a courtroom in the way you see it. What you see are people on an elevated pedestal talking down to an audience and yelling in their speech making. This is exactly what happened in the Reichstag when the Nazi Party took over. The same layout, the same context, the same content, and the same unconstitutional breaking of law. They're continually making speeches and telling you what kind of a bad person was and ascribing all kinds of motivations and intentions to testimony that has been edited. They would show a snippet of Bill Barr's testimony, then they would show a snippet of Ivanka Trump's, then they would show a snippet of Giuliani, and then they say, well, this is what they really meant. This is what they're doing. And interestingly enough, the accusations against Donald Trump are not just inciting the January 6th Commission, which has nothing to do, by the way, with what happened on January 6th. No one has ascribed any intention or accusation against the people who did all the damage and attacked those Capitol Police officers. This is a sole attack on Donald Trump and the people surrounding him. They heralded people who turned against Donald Trump because Donald Trump made the mistake of questioning an election. What you're hearing is accusations of what? Danger to our democracy. Exactly the same accusations that the Nazi court was making against people in the German government who were not loyal to the Nazi Party. They're making accusations of slowdowns of work, of damage to our credibility, of political crimes, none of which were listed in German law at that time. Same thing with here. All of these accusations against Donald Trump, oh, well, he was raising money for a fund that didn't exist. None of that is illegal under U.S. law. You're allowed to ask for donations. You're allowed to form a defense fund. You're allowed to do everything that Donald Trump would have done. There has been no criminal action under U.S. law that has been disclosed yet by the January 6th other than what actually happened. People were attacked, Capitol Police were hurt, and the building was damaged, none of which have been directly ascribed to Donald Trump. And he has not been allowed to produce any kind of evidence. He has not been allowed to cross-examine any witnesses. And in fact, many people have come forward since then and have said so in public, saying, well, they are characterizing my testimony as something different than what it actually was. The primary accusation against Donald Trump is that he's not loyal to America because he does not trust the elective process. And he questions it. And yet, no mention has been made of Hillary Clinton's book, How It Happened. No mention has been made of Jill Stein questioning counts in the upper Midwest, much in the same way that Donald Trump has. No account has been made of previous accusations of the Bush-Gore election or of the Hillary Clinton-Donald Trump accusations. The 3 of the 5 members sitting on the panel yelling down at people did not approve, refused to perform their constitutional duties in the 2016 election and the 2000 election, the last 2 times a Republican won the office. It is a kangaroo court conducted by malfeasant people intent on seizing power in the United States. There is no question in my mind. Liz Cheney and others are part of a cabal that want to dismantle the ability of Donald Trump to ever again run for office and, if possible, get somebody to create an artificial crime specific to him in an effort to threaten him, to put him in jail, to threaten him with legal woes so that he would never run again and potentially would never be a threat. And the reason they're doing it is because Donald Trump had the balls to stand up and say, government doesn't know what it's doing. I can do a better job. And then when he got the job, he actually did what he could do. Even though he knew very little about the American political scene, he did not have any significant amount of people building a government for him. He had to rely on the Republican Party producing people. And many people were ultimately unable to do the job. This is what's going on, and you need to understand it because it's a significant damage. The other time that it happened was when the Russians took over in communist Russia. Lenin and Trotsky and many of those did exactly the same thing. In fact, the pictures from the courtroom look identical to what you're seeing up on the January 6th stage. Propaganda posters posted, propaganda messages sent, and leaders illegitimately with illegitimate ideas passing judgment over the last successful president that we had. That's what's galling them. That he stood up, said, you don't know what you're doing, you're incompetent, and then proved it. And that's why they want to keep him out of office again. Because if he gets in office again with a lame duck approach, and he doesn't have to worry again, they have no idea what he's capable of doing. More importantly, you see a number of people around this country being endorsed by Donald Trump to run in the fall, so it will affect the fall elections. And interestingly enough, Donald Trump's endorsements are sometimes outside the norm. Why would he endorse a Dr. Oz? Why would he endorse a number of these people, which obviously may not be the best qualified person for the office? And it's created some doubt. I can tell you why. Because Donald Trump plans to run for president again, if he can. And Donald Trump, if he gets in office, is going to use this network he's building to do whatever he is going to do to try and upright this sinking ship. And he doesn't care if they're ideologically pure. He doesn't care if they have the credentials. He doesn't care that in the past they may have been Democrats or supported Democrat ideas. All he cares about is loyalty to him. Because when he became president, the Republican Party just let him sink and did not protect him they would like any other candidate. That's what this January 6th commission is all about, and you need to be aware of it. Time to move on. Let's talk about the stock market. Below 30,000 a day. We'll be right back.